If you had the opportunity to speak to the world leaders, what would you say? Well, here's your chance. Heads of state from all over the world will soon be gathering in New York for the United Nations General Assembly. Use your voice as a global citizen and tell these leaders in a short video what you think needs to be done to make this world a better and safer place.
And our next guest, Kirsty Matthews, was indeed picked for the UN's viral YouTube video campaign for a chance to address the folks at the United Nations in New York City, and she's here to tell us all about it. Kirsty, how are you?
Kirsty.
Hello.
So tell us how you happened upon this contest that was on YouTube.
Well, we were talking about it earlier. I never normally go on YouTube, but I happened to be on there and happened to see a thing saying George Clooney wants to hear from you. So I thought, well, if George
yes, he
Clooney
does.
wants to hear from me.
Well, and what captured you about it, though? I mean, it's one thing to see it, but
Right.
you know, to take action based on something you see is a completely different matter. So what was it that captured you about this and made you want to participate?
Well, I've always been passionate about social justice issues, and I've always wished I had the chance to actually make an impact and to actually say what I want to say. So I thought, you know, well, I may as well just make a video the way that I want to. Probably nothing's going to come from it, but
But it did, and Mike and I, we're going to see a little bit of your video, but Mike and I watched the whole thing, and it's very, very powerful. Had you ever done anything like this before?
Well, I do. I'm a documentary filmmaker, so I do make documentaries. Normally they're a lot longer than
But you're like
1
right,
minute.
trying to get it down to that.
But to have a message that's so strong in such a short video must have been a real challenge.
It was. I kind of slept on it, and then I thought, well, you know, the way I see it, the world, it's imperative that it becomes more sustainable and more equitable. I mean, those are two very crucial factors, and it's very simple to do it. So.
All right, so you put this together and sent it off. We should actually probably, I think, right now have a look at it, shall we?
Why not?
And give you an idea of exactly what she said.
This is Kirsty's video.
Our current path of globalization is propelling us towards disaster. Environmental catastrophe is imminent. War and unrest are already pervasive. And people are dying of starvation on a daily basis. The modern industrial complex needs to be drastically overhauled. The solutions are obvious. Resources need to be more equitably distributed. Our dependence on oil must be eradicated. And whatever we do going forward, it's absolutely imperative that we do it sustainably. The stakes are too high to sit on your asses and pontificate. We need to act now.
I think it was that line, the stakes are too high to sit on your asses. That probably sealed it. But you were invited to the United Nations to speak directly to the assembly there. Tell us about that experience. You'd been to New York once before?
Yeah, I went. I had gone once when I was 11, and I had the photo of me standing in front of the gun with the knot in it, which was really powerful going then, because that was, you know, during apartheid in South Africa. So it was really powerful going to the United Nations and seeing, you know, the realization of a dream that people in South Africa never really had.
Yeah.
So to go back again now that apartheid has ended, and to meet Ban Ki-moon, it was really moving.
Was it intimidating, going to the United Nations? Was it daunting?
You know, they surprisingly put you at ease. You know, the people there are really passionately committed to the same things that I'm passionately committed to, and I think, you know, the rest of the world is passionately committed to. So it's really inspiring. It's not daunting. No.
Yeah, well, and there's this perception that I think I share with a lot of people that maybe this is just a very large bureaucracy.
Right.
What was your direct experience there? I mean, getting a chance to talk to people, you already mentioned that, you know, a lot of people there are there for the right reasons. Well, I think everybody's there for the right reasons. What was your direct experience with everybody?
Yeah, I think it is true. I think, you know, you get so fed up with these world leaders and these institutions that it seems so simple to us on the ground what needs to change. And then at the macro level, it seems like things just take so slowly. But the truth is that, you know, the United Nations, their aims are noble, and a lot of the time they are not able to act because of governments and individual nation states that kind of hamper things. So that was quite educational for me.
Yeah, I can imagine. Well, and you mentioned your experience in South Africa where you grew up and you still spend a lot of your time as well. How informative has that been to your life and this idea and striving towards social justice and equality in the world?
It's been incredibly informative. I think that you know, some people refer to the way globalization is happening now as apartheid globalization, because inequality is actually getting worse. Exactly, not better, and it's becoming less and less sustainable. So, you know, coming from the context of apartheid, it's very, even in a daily experience, I realized just how separated we are. I was on the bus coming here to the show, and I live in Strathcona, so I go through the downtown east side on the bus. And somebody was saying, oh, you know, well, in 4 months' time, all these people are going to be in prison for the Olympics. You know, talking about getting people off the streets, because that's what we want to do. We want to clean up the city.
Yeah.
And it's just
stunning when
yes,
you hear things like that.
Right. And I mean, that happened this morning. And so that's the mentality that a lot of people have, is that these separate worlds we live in, and
Yeah.
that's
And
an
that's the
us-them
barrier,
culture.
isn't it?
Thank you so much. And if you want to watch Kirsty's video, you can check it out on YouTube. It'll come up if you just type in her name.
Very powerful, along with George Clooney as well, so you can watch both of them. We're going to take a break. When we come back, Angie Quayle will be joining us.